Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to day 22 of our F-125 hot lap and setup series. Yes, we return this weekend here to Las Vegas, of course. Weirdly now, inside F-125, quite a tricky, awkward circuit, mainly because obviously now they've finally understood that the Vegas desert in winter is cold at night. I know it might sound slightly counterintuitive, but of course, yeah, this place, we've been racing in like 8-9 degree temperatures, so Formula 1 tyres really do struggle to operate kind of that low on the temperature scale. So this place inside F125 now, unlike most circuits where you're trying to manage tyre temperature, here you're trying to manage tyre temperature the other way. But of course, yeah, for those of you that maybe are new to this series, don't know what this is all about, I basically go through, I give you guys a race-ready setup inside F125, and then we talk through kind of all the breaking points, all the references, what you want to be looking for around these circuits as well. So, if this video helps you out, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 15k here at the moment as well, and yeah, we're nearly at the end of this series. I've got plenty more planned though still. You guys have been requesting wet setups. I also might do some Formula 2 setups as well a little bit further down the line, and then of course some updated ones as well to give you guys currently, you know, the best available ones at the moment. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head out onto our track guide. Of course, as always, timestamps linked down below, so if you just want to head to a certain part of the video, you can do so as well. But let's do this thing. Making our way then out of the final proper corner and a long run back towards the start-finish line here. Very, very bumpy inside F125. Get the car nicely over the inside curb through that final corner as we get ready to start a lap. You're going to be doing about 200 miles an hour on the run in towards turn 1. You want to brake just at the 100-meter board, just as you get to the start of this curbing down in towards turn 1 there. Try to get the car nicely wedged over it. You know, the curb is completely flat, so you don't have to worry about that. All the way down into third gear. I like to try and get as close to the inside curbing for turn 1 as I can, but normally I don't actually attack it because it does unsettle the rear of the car and makes your life very, very awkward. Try and just maintain about half throttle through this first apex, short shift up to 4th, and then up to 5th gear, and just as you can see the wall kind of move left and then to the right, that's where you want to be aiming for, ready for turn 2. Get the car lined up with it very temporarily, and then flick the car in through the right-hander. In qualifying trim, it is just about flat out, but in race trim, you're going to need a big blend. You might even leave it in 4th gear, just to try and get the car rotated through nice and tidy. It is so easy to drop the rear end through there if you overcommit to the corner and everything else. But you open up the DRS, and we then head out onto the second of the straights around this circuit. Once again, all the way up in 8th gear, but this corner, really tricky one to kind of spot your braking point for. Again, it's kind of fairly nondescript down the straight, so you've got to be really focused. I like to aim, you see the black box and obviously the 100-meter board. I like to hit the brakes at the 100-meter board in qualifying, but the black box in race trim. You'll go over this slight rise as you make your way into the corner, bring the car all the way down into third gear. Again, a lot of people like to attack the curb, but I tend to kind of try to avoid it as best as I can, just because it can unsettle the rear. Get the car nice and straight on the exit, bring it up to 4th. You don't need to bring the car back over to the right-hand side. Hug the apex through turn 5, and then we're going to be making our way into one of the trickiest braking zones on the entire calendar. This kind of weird tyre marking is your reference point into here. I know it's a really odd one. The 100-meter boards, if you can spot them, fair play. But I use these kind of tyre marks in the middle of the road, kind of that lock-up, whatever it is, in towards this next turn. But really tricky. You want to bring the car down from 6th all the way to 3rd gear while still trying to rotate the front end as well. So be very careful of understeer. Down into 2nd, attack the first curb, trying to get the car wedged over the second one as well, and then drop the car off the exit. Don't allow it to run too far left before you want to keep it on the right-hand side, and then turn it in. Again, I like to avoid this curb on the inside there, but to get as close to the wall as you can on the exit. Full throttle nice and early before you back up through 3rd gear once again. Don't bother bringing the car all the way to the left-hand side. Again, these next 2 corners completely flat out, easy flat in a Formula 1 car. You've just got to be a little bit careful of the bumps through these next couple of corners as well. All the way up in 7th gear though, and again this braking zone horrible. I like to get the car nicely on the exit, and then just before you go under this bridge, start getting on the brakes. Try to be very, very careful of that wall on the outside, but bring the car all the way down to 3rd gear. Again, I like to avoid this inside curb just because it's very, very big, and the outside wall as well will punish you if you dare understeer. Always with that corner, you're better off braking slightly early than slightly late. Simply because if you brake slightly earlier, you can normally get a better run out onto the straight anyway. It can be slightly slower, but is a lot safer as you make your way down the strip then. Of course, plenty going on around, but you are A, focused on the DRS detection point, B, focused on the DRS zone, and then C, focused on the braking zone down in towards the final proper corner of the lap then. Bring the car over to the right hand side. You want to be looking about 120 meters out on the brakes down in towards this final chicane. Really tricky to kind of learn, but once you've learned what you can do with the curbs, it is absolutely fantastic there. Like I said, brake about 120 meters out, bring the car all the way down to 3rd gear. I like to try and go for a slightly late apex through the first part, and then full throttle there, wedge the car over the curbs through the second. Try and keep it completely flat through the final corner as well. It can be difficult, especially in race trim. You probably want to blend out, because again, you can hit the outside wall there, and it'll really cost you. But then the long run back towards the start-finish line, that is going to be a lap of the Las Vegas circuit. It is one that it kind of feels like in a race stint is constantly evolving, is constantly changing, so you have got to be really careful around here as well. You know, temperature around the circuit makes a huge difference. Just pray that it's not raining, otherwise this place is absolutely horrible inside the F1 games as well. But I feel like they finally kind of cracked in the games what makes Vegas a fun challenge IRL, and it is really enjoyable now inside F125 when you're in a good routine. If you've somehow managed to cook the tyres or anything like that, you're in for a world of hurt. So yeah, try to avoid doing that at all costs as well. If that means just sitting behind the guy in front of you down the DRS straights and saving the tyres through the rest of the lap, that's what you need to do. Anyway, let's head back to the pit lane and I'll talk you guys through the setup. We're taking a look then at our current leaderboard. As you can see, we're about a second away from some really good times here. 500th in the world, bob on there, so pretty happy with that one as well. But if we take a look then at some of the numbers, there we go, we're quicker again than an F1 Esports champion of Tino as well. Very low wing here, basically the same as what you're running at like Monza and Belgium. I've opted for 5.2 here. You can up it to like 7.4 if you're really struggling through the corners, but ultimately we all know that strip is going to be the most important part of this lap, and trying to make overtakes down there is absolutely critical, but battery management as well here makes a big difference. So potentially if you're struggling, run those slightly higher wings, but you're going to have to be super smart with your battery management as well. 85-25 for the diff settings. Again, there's a few kind of horrible traction zones here, but only really a couple of them are quite low speed, so you can run quite a locked diff on throttle there. Quite an unlocked diff off throttle again. Obviously, you're trying to rotate the car around on some of those braking zones, so really important. Like completely standard toe and camber angles inside this game, it just seems to work everywhere. I'm always expecting to get to a venue where it doesn't work, but that's yet to happen to me, so don't fix what ain't broke, I guess, is my rule inside F125. 37.6 for your front and rear suspension, 618 for your anti-roll bars, and then 2450 for your ride height. This circuit is a lot bumpier, it feels like, on F125. I think where the cars are a lot more susceptible to bumps, it does make a big old difference as well. So yeah, those ride height angles are really important to try and get perfected. Again, like I said, it's like the run to the final corner can be really bumpy, so it's about trying to use the lines that avoid the worst of them as well, but that's what works for me. 54-97% brake pressure. Again, this is a circuit where kind of locking up can be really tricky, especially on the corner, on the run to the strip. So I like to run slightly lower brake pressure. If I'm still struggling, I move the brake bar slightly forward as well. But yeah, run it slightly lower than you normally would inside this game. 24.5 front PSIs, 22.6 rear PSIs. Again, they give me a good balance of kind of enough traction, but not losing too much speed down the straights as well, and also allow you to maintain some tyre temperature, which is really important. It is a one-stop here. 11, 12 laps on the mediums, and then the remainder on the hards. It's quite an easy one-stop, of course, as long as you manage those tyres, like I said. But hopefully this helps you out. If it does, please do make sure, like I said in the intro, you get yourself subscribed, as long as I can actually do the outro. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, of course, in Qatar. That one is going to be really, really good fun as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave you guys with a hot lap. Thank you all, as always, for the support, and I'll see you tomorrow.